So hey guys, it's Xiant again, and if you're watching this, it means I'm back from Boston, at least for a little while, and in the meantime I want to bring you some regular videos, starting with CSGO. Now let me preface this by saying that I suck at Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Counter-Strike Source. I've tried both. I have not tried 1.6, though I hear that it is overall still the best game. I suck. And so I have chopped this gameplay up considerably to make it look good, and because I don't want to show you me watching a whole bunch of other good players play, I want to show you me trying desperately to improve. Now with that out of the way, I want to talk about something that relates to Counter-Strike Go and Counter-Strike as a series, but also to more retro-like gaming as opposed to gaming nowadays, and that's the idea of precision. I find that games today, especially in the first-person shooter space, Halo being a little different. They don't require a lot of accuracy or precise control over your character. Games like Super Meat Boy have it. But if you go back to the old days, and I think I've talked about this before in my I Wish Games Were Hard video, games were hard not just because the difficulty curve was fairly steep and there was very little actual tutorial on how to beat these games, but also because you had to almost memorize how the game worked. And especially for games like Mega Man, you remember the jumping puzzles, where you didn't know where the next platform was going to be, but it would only be there for a couple seconds, and you had to take about 1 second to actually realize there's a jump pad there, half a second to press the A button to jump, and then another half second to get on the platform before it disappears, at which point the next platform is in fact appearing in front of you. And when you go back to even more recent Mega Man games, the Mega Man X series, X4, X5, X6, X3, Mega Man X, all good Mega Man games require this utmost precision, where if you make the slightest error in judgment or control, you just lost a life, and in today's gaming world, it would be the end of the game. And I look at games like the one I'm playing right now, the 2013 edition of Tomb Raider, and I think to myself, there is no punishment for failure because the checkpoints are frequent and generous. The mechanics are fairly easy, but I don't feel as though I'm being challenged. And if I'm playing a game, I want to at least feel like I'm accomplishing something. I want to feel as though my successes are actual successes, not the game saying to me, oh, well, you know, you did okay, but you didn't quite do it right, here's a rego. In Mega Man, if the game gave you, I think, 2 of those by default, you used up your life and the 2 extras, you had to go back to the start of the stage, and in early Mega Man games, you had to start the whole game over. Ghouls and Goblins was the same. I didn't actually play that game, but I know that it just said, you know what, 1 go might have been a fluke. Play the game again without armor. And then maybe I'll decide that you've actually played well enough to go on and be a better gamer. And like I said in my games aren't hard enough video, well, games today, they're a business, and you don't make a business run correctly by saying to all your user bases, yeah, if you don't do this correctly the first couple of times, then you're going to have to start all over. And games like Dark Souls show me, at the very least, that there is a very large market for very difficult, precise, controlled games. Which brings me, very circuitously, to the very important part of any precision game. The controls must be incredibly tight, incredibly responsive. You must have less than a millisecond between input and output from the game characters. And if you don't, the game simply doesn't work. And with all the high-tech shit that they're putting in games nowadays, well, sometimes you just can't do that. And then there are some developers who just don't have the coding knowledge to do that, even if they wanted to. And then you go into their games and they expect you to platform, because a lot of these games are in fact platforming that you have to do this shit with. And it just doesn't work. I mean, Tomb Raider, the controls are okay, but they're clunky. There's a little bit of mouse acceleration, and am I supposed to jump here? Am I supposed to jump here? Is that rock climbable? It's all just really silly. And so the game isn't hard. It doesn't reward you for using your dexterity and your knowledge and your reflexes to actually succeed. It just holds your hand the entire way, which is a problem in gaming. And a problem that Counter-Strike has faced head-on and said, no, come here and I'll beat the shit out of you. And people still flock to this game because it's hard, but it's rewarding to master, and even though the community is a little fragmented sometimes, it's still an awesome experience.